But you covered the Biden presidency aggressively throughout the 4 years, and you didn't cover mental acuity hardly at all. I mean, time and time again, when issues came up, you seem to be running cover for the president. You didn't seem interested. Do you want to apologize to Lara Trump now?
Jake Tapper with his new book that shines new light on the fact that they covered up Biden's cognitive decline is the biggest case of gaslighting in history because Jake Tapper was part of the cover-up. Megyn Kelly calls him out to his face, absolutely eviscerates him, and it's beautiful. It's justice. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out lies, hypocrisy, corruption, and help spread the light of truth and freedom because truth conquers. When it comes to calling out lies, hypocrisy, and corruption, we got all three here with now best-selling CNN author Jake Tapper with his new book released, calling out, well, we've made some discoveries. The Biden White House was actually covering up his health decline. This is breaking news when you and I have been watching it for 5 years before he was elected. This is complete gaslighting. He is a complete hypocrite. He is a complete liar because he was part of the cover-up. We'll see footage in a little bit of he was just routinely lying about those are false claims that he's in mental decline. Sharp as a tack, ladies and gentlemen. As long as he was paid to cover up Biden's health decline, he did so. And now he's getting paid more to shine a little light on it. So that's what he is doing. This dude sold his soul long ago, and the Babylon Bee nails it masterfully right here with this meme. Evidence of Biden decline may have been covered up by Jake Tapper. This guy is just getting eviscerated left and right because it's very well deserved. And no one did it better than Megyn Kelly because she had him on her show. And boy, she did not hold back. Stay tuned for that. But first, let's get a good picture of the hypocrisy. And to start doing that, here's a little 30-second clip of what Jake Tapper's revolutionary book is all about. Original Sin. President Biden's decline, its cover-up. Jake Tapper's well qualified to write this book, and his disastrous choice to run again.
And we've challenged Democrats and White House officials about it, but Alex Thompson of Axios and I have spent the last several months talking to more than 200 insiders and officials and donors and activists, more willing to talk post-election, of course, to explain the last couple of years in politics and how we as a nation got here with never before heard stories from behind the scenes. You will not believe what was really going on.
No, I think I'd believe it. Now, I have to interrupt before we get to more of Jake Tapper's hypocrisy. Him writing a book exposing that Biden's mind and health decline was covered up while he actively on CNN regularly covered up. It'd be like Anthony Fauci writes a book one day, a couple of years from now. He's like, hey, here's what this book's about. You know those jabs they were trying to push on us? Turns out they cause some health problems. Time heart problems. Let's talk about cancer. Strokes are interesting. Now, it turns out they knew that all along, and they were covering up. So I, Anthony Fauci, have written a book about how all those dangerous side effects were covered up the whole time. Hey, Fauci, you were the one covering it up. You were the one lying about it in the first place. And now you're positioning yourself to write a book as this ultimate truth teller? Nope, we're not dumb enough to fall for that. We're not morons. You are the moron for thinking we're morons when in fact we're not, because you are lying. You are gaslighting us the whole time. That doesn't make it the ultimate truth expose. It makes it the ultimate attempt to gaslight. But guess what, Anthony Fauci? We're not dumb enough to fall for it. That is the exact same thing that Jake Tapper has positioned himself to do. And I have to say, the guy's a moron. The guy is a moron for believing that you and I would be dumb enough to fall for it. For believing that we're moronic enough to fall for it. Now, if he thinks that we're moronic enough to fall for it, and in fact we're not, that actually makes him the moron for falsely thinking we're the morons. Now, back to Jake Tapper's hypocrisy. This is him back in 2020. He actually kicked Lara Trump off air for her making claims that Biden has health decline, cognitive decline, and for her saying him stuttering is part of his cognitive decline. He actually ended the interview. He was so invested in covering up Biden's decline. He kicked off Laura Trump for saying very truthful words. Let's take a look.
Every time he comes on stage or they turn to him, I'm like, Joe, can you get it out? Let's get the words out, Joe. You kind of feel bad for him.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
What a dumb question. She wasn't talking about little kids with stutters. She was talking about Joe Biden, who can't talk because of cognitive issues. Oh, let's spin this. Why'd you say that about kids? I wasn't talking about kids. I was talking about Biden.
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline. Okay. That's what I'm referring to.
He literally starts cutting her off right there. They tried to cover up his cognitive decline. Buy my book. Who's they? Well, me. I tried to cover it up.
It makes me uncomfortable.
You are
to
no.
Watch somebody on stage
That's so amazing. It's so amazing to me that
try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline.
Well, when you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
ridiculing her, a cognitive decline. Really?
I think that you were mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses diagnosing politicians from afar. Plenty of people have diagnosed your father from afar, and I'm sure it offends you. Your father-in-law from afar. I'm sure it offends you. You don't have any standing to say.
I'm not diagnosing him. What I'm saying, Jake,
you just talked about a cognitive decline.
Cognitive decline is not a diagnosis. Dementia would be a diagnosis. By the way, I think most of us are qualified to actually make that diagnosis of someone who obviously has it. But to observe a cognitive decline, it's just speaking of very obvious perception. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first, if feeling good energy, having good mental focus throughout the day, and getting the best night's sleep of your life is important to you, listen up. It hugely determines the quality of your life, your happiness, your mood, your energy, your metabolism. That's why an absolute staple of my nightly routine is using my Bond Charge blue light blocking glasses. What you do for a few hours before bed will positively, or most of the time, negatively impact your sleep, and you feel it the next day. And a lot of that has to do with the blue light that comes off your screens, your computer, your phone, your TV, your indoor lighting, because the blue light tells your body, hey, the sun's up, it's daytime, and you have cortisol awakening hormones flooding your system at night when those hormones should be going down and your sleep hormones going up. But the cool part about blue light blocking glasses, it takes you virtually no time to dramatically improve your night's sleep. You put them on a couple hours before bed and they block the blue light so that your body can settle into its natural preparatory sleep rhythm before you're even in bed. And I find an excellent companion is the Bond Charge Blackout Sleep Mask. I know when I have to sleep past the point of time when the sun's up or I'm able to take a nap to catch up on sleep, the Blackout Sleep Mask makes all the difference between me being able to catch the extra sleep or not. To get your Bond Charge blue light blocking glasses and blackout sleep mask, go to bondcharge.com/JPReacts, and for 15% off, use discount code JPReacts. And just know all Bond Charge products are HSA, FSA eligible, offering you up to a 40% tax-free savings. That's bondcharge.com/JPReacts. Now back to the video.
That Joe Biden
I have
is
one last question for you, Lara. You can't
times on stage, and it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay,
that is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel sorry for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, ends the interview early. That almost resembles, well, a cover-up. Now, before we get to Megyn Kelly eviscerating Jake Tapper, shoving his face in the pile of poop that is his lies, his gaslighting of him covering it up, let's get to this issue. Jake Tapper's position is, dude, the White House, Biden's administration, they covered it up. They were lying about this the whole time. Here's what I'll say about that. They were not transparent. They weren't forthcoming. He's really screwed in the mind. He can't function. We do this whole auto pen thing. Jill is running. So it's kind of a mess. They weren't transparent. Did they cover up Biden's health issues? No. The media, Jake Tapper, they tried to cover up what the White House couldn't cover up. Here's why I say the White House did not cover up Joe's health issues. It was there plain as day. All you had to do is observe it, do a little bit of thinking for yourself. Case in point, here's a few examples of how the White House absolutely couldn't cover up his physical and cognitive issues. Classic. Not the only time he did that. Summer classic. See, the cameras are on. They couldn't cover this up. I'm sure there was plenty that happened just like this where there weren't cameras on and they weren't forthcoming. By the way, every time Joe falls, I bet his Secret Service, their pulse would just go up. They're used to oh, president fell. Is there a sniper? Did they just take him out? It's no, he was just trying to walk. Down you go. Yep, couldn't even get up. Yeah, I like that. He accurately pointed to the thing that he tripped on. Now you might say, hey, all right, the guy's old. He's not exactly an Olympic athlete anymore, nor was he ever. And, okay, physically, he's not an athlete, but cognitively, sharp as a tack. Wrong-o. Here's some of that the White House did not cover up, but people in the mainstream media like Jake Tapper tried to. They would run their stories. These are cheap fakes. These are baseless claims. These conservatives are making fun of this, and this.
Here in North Carolina and across America, who are working hard to find a secure place in the middle class.
It's not a very cognitively enhanced look. Yep. How's the cognition? Jake Tapper, how's the cognition here? Is this normal? You ridiculed people that said it wasn't.
Oh, I get that.
Yep, you're at the mic.
Okay.
Yep, you are now.
PBS, Ms. Lopez.
She knows so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured.
Now, if you notice Jill's hand, that is a weight-bearing arm on her right side. It's not loosey-goosey holding hands. It's you can tell that's a weight-bearing arm that she's supplying. There you go. Whispering, all right, Joe, do the salute thing. He's like, where am I? Okay. Yep, there we go. Not at the bottom yet. You want to keep going. Look at him. Sharp as a tack. That way? No, not that way. Backwards? Maybe? Yeah, just maybe that way. And of course, we all saw the beautiful clips of him trying to shake hands with ghosts. We'll just omit that because you get the point. This is my claim. The White House did not cover up his health issues. They weren't transparent, but they did not cover it up. Why? Because we were seeing these videos for the past 5 years. And then Jake Tapper makes the mistake of talking to Megyn Kelly on her show. I'm glad he made that mistake. You'll see headlines like Jake Tapper flails when confronted with his role in Biden cover-up. So let's watch a little bit of a clip of Megyn Kelly getting the machete out and just eviscerating this guy with a truth sword / machete. And the audio on this is sped up slightly just to get through it.
I did ask Joe Biden to be transparent about his health records in an interview in 2020. I did ask him about the fact that voters
then he wasn't.
thought that he was not transparent at all. No.
He promised you that he would be transparent about his health records, and then he wasn't. And when you sat with him again,
at all.
including 1 month after the Jackie Walorski thing, you didn't ask him.
The dead congresswoman that Biden just played a video tribute to and then asked if she was present.
About it. You didn't follow up on the fact that he was falling up the stairs, that he was losing his train of thought regularly, that he was slurring, that he was incomprehensible, that he was getting lost on the White House lawn. You sat right across from him and you asked none of that, notwithstanding the fact that he had promised you he would be fully transparent about his health issues. You know as well as I do that there's a way of, you can say, hey, there's this poll on your age, or you could say, You just forgot that Jackie Walorski was dead. You asked where she was moments after watching a videotape tribute to her. You lowered the flags at the White House after she died. This happened 13 days before you sat with him. There is a way of pressing a man like that on the actual infirmities to bring it home to him and to the audience, and you didn't do it. It wasn't just that. I mean, you sat with him a couple of times in the course of his presidency, and these issues were not pressed. Well, there was at least that time, and then there was the time at the beginning.
Megyn Kelly's mostly right. He sat with Biden directly once during his presidency, and then on stage while he was running for president in 2020.
But separate and apart from that, you covered the Biden's presidency. No. Let me just finish my point. You covered the Biden presidency. Okay, right. And it was 13 days after the Jackie Walorski thing. But you covered the Biden presidency aggressively throughout the 4 years, and you didn't cover mental acuity hardly at all. I mean, time and time again, when issues came up, you seemed to be running cover.
Doesn't seem to be. He was
president. You didn't seem interested. Do you want to apologize?
Jake Tapper, I don't think that's true. It's almost like he's lying.
Do you want to apologize to Lara Trump now?
I've already apologized to her. I called her months ago.
I feel angry because she was right. And not only did you not allow her to make her comments, but you seemed to try to humiliate her. You had a hostility toward the position, but she was totally right. And then you lectured her on how she was in no position to diagnose cognitive decline, which you guys do at length, including on page 4 of your book. You describe at length his cognitive decline, which is all she tried to do with you. But you had such a visceral reaction to her.
Joe Biden has been saying stupid things for decades. Okay.
I get what you're saying, but this minimizes it too, because it was more than saying stupid things. But I'm telling you, like over here in my ecosphere, we were covering all of these. It wasn't just falling down; it was getting lost. It was some of the stuff you report in your book. We knew, and we were reporting on, like the multi-jump cuts in the videos of him, where it was obvious he couldn't get through a 1-minute take, so they had to use those. It was clear to us that he was using teleprompter, and there was some reporting on that at the time, all of which the White House was denying. Now, with the current White House, I have some connections. With the Joe Biden White House, I had none. But you did. You did. And so while you've been in Washington 30 years, Jake, you and CNN have White House connections, but there was no effort, none to get to the bottom of this. And now for you guys to write this book like there was a cover-up, it's like there was a cover-up and there was an attempted cover-up. It could only ever work if you allowed it.
Megyn Kelly spoke for all Americans with a functioning, free-thinking brain. Jake Tapper, you are fooling absolutely no one who is not already a fool. You should be ashamed of yourself. And dear friends of mine, let me know what you think about Jake Tapper writing a book exposing what Jake Tapper was doing. Let me know in the comment section below. I'll look forward to hearing your thoughts, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. But until then, stay free.